Today's video is going to be specifically about how I get the most insane client transformations that I do. If you scroll down my Instagram, you will see hundreds and even thousands of different clients and their transformations that they have had whilst working with me. You'll see really short-term results, you'll see really long-term results, and everything in between. All different backgrounds, nationalities, different lifestyles, backgrounds with dieting, whether they've worked with a coach or not, different experience levels. I coach all clients, no matter what your starting point is. I can guarantee you we are going to get an insane transformation together if you are willing to do the work. So today's video, I'm going to explain the how behind all of these transformations, because not to brag or toot my own horn, but I do feel like I get better client results than anyone else consistently as well. Like, you will see this over years. You know, like sometimes coaches might share a transformation here and there, but however, you will see so many different client results consistently over time. And the reason why I share these, that you can see that this is proof in the pudding. Like, this is what I do. I don't just say that I do these things. Like, I am actively working with each client and getting them the results that they do. I'm not just talking about it, I am actually proof. My business is proof of that. How we get these insane transformations is personalization. I say this all the time, but personalization is key. Every single client I have a consult with, it is so important that you are having a consult with your coach when you work with them, whether it's through a phone call or a written consult. Depends on the client, depends what they prefer as well. During a consultation, then I'll go through all of the information that I need to know in order to be able to program for them. So I'll ask them things like, what is their weight, height, age, history with dieting, goals moving forward, what they want to achieve, if they have any events that they're working towards specifically. And it is my job to be able to reverse engineer and work out what their protocol should be and their game plan in order to get them there. A lot of clients that come to me when they've worked with a different coach before, they'll say, oh yeah, I was dieting and I kind of just didn't have an end goal, or they were dieting for most of the year and they still weren't changing. It's like, of course, you need to make sure that you have an end date for each phase that you're doing, whether you're in a cut, a build, or a maintenance phase. Each phase needs a purpose. So the first thing is that I make sure that I have a personalized consultation with each client, and then from there, making sure that we have a game plan and that we set out specific personalization for each client. We want to do everything in phases when it comes to each client. So whether we do a cut first, a build phase first, or a maintenance reverse diet, there's all different phases that we can do. And eventually, after going through multiple cut and build phases, the goal is to get the client to a physique that they're happy with in terms of body fat wise, muscle wise, and calorie wise, and metabolism wise, that we can eventually ease them into intuitive eating. Unless you're crazy like me and you just want to keep going through your cut and build phases constantly. So those are the first two steps. Is one, make sure you have a personalized consultation with your coach. Two, make sure that you have a set game plan and you decide whether you do your cut and build phase first. It depends on where you're at, how much body fat that you have currently, how much you want to lose, and the physique that you want to get to, because some people might want more muscle than another person, whereas one person might be happy with relatively like little to no muscle, and other people want to be as jacked as possible. It's not my job to decide what the client's goal should be. However, I can give strong recommendations in terms of what I recommend to them. In saying that though, if clients don't know what their goal should be, I can absolutely guide them and tell them what I think that is going to be best for them. I know what looks good. I know what most people want on average, so I can easily create a game plan. Even if a client comes to me and they're like, I literally have no idea if I want to cut or build or whatever, I will decide for you. I will have a look at your photos and then decide what I think is best depending on your metabolism. Like, I've coached clients where they want to lose a lot of body fat and they've still got a lot of body fat to lose, but given their dieting history, considering that they've dieted most of their life, then I say, okay, actually we're not going to diet right now, we're actually going to reverse diet and increase your calories for a period of time, and then when I feel like we're ready, then we're going to go through your cuts. The next thing that I would say is having your weekly check-ins as well. The next step is making sure that you have a check-in with your coach every single week. I cannot express the importance of checking in with your coach every single time, because it's not just like, oh, I'll send through one late check-in day, like it's fine, I'll send my check-in late. No, because the person who skips their check-in or is late 1 week to their check-in is also the person who will skip their cardio or do slightly less on steps or sleep in a little bit later, and it all adds up and it accumulates. So it's not that one thing itself per se, but it's the accumulation of that kind of mindset mindset. So make sure that you're super punctual with your time. And that's one thing I love about working with a coach, is that it provides you so much structure in every single area of your life. And if you get really good at your timing with one thing, like making sure that your check-in is on time, like everything else is going to thrive. I can promise you that. So make sure that you're checking in on time every single week. I'm a big fan of weekly check-ins instead of fortnightly. I know some coaches will do fortnightly check-ins. However, in my opinion, it's too long in between check-ins. You need weekly check-ins, and a lot of the time I make changes to protocols every single week. If we can leave calories the same for 1 week, great, that's no problem, if that's the best thing for us. But a lot of the time I am making changes to protocols every single week, and even if I'm not, having that check-in to be able to keep my clients accountable is massive. The accountability factor of working with a coach is huge. I don't think a lot of people realize just how important having that accountability is, because it's one thing to say to yourself, oh yes, I'm going to achieve X amount of goal, or even, AI can give you macro protocols, right? But it's a whole nother level of commitment when you have another human to check in with, to look at your progress photos, because I'm sure at some point you have tried AI, or you've tried to get ChatGPT to give you a macro plan and check in with each week. And how did it go? You fell off, didn't you? Because it's so different. Mentally, we know if we're checking in with AI or a robot. That's why I'm so confident in my job. It's not going to be replaced, because you cannot replace human to human, and having someone to tell you the right amount of protocols to do and to listen to your situation and who has that experience as well is just so important. When you have someone to check in with your progress photos and it's going to see your week, like we don't really get embarrassed if it's a robot because there's no emotions. But if we fall off track and we have another human to report back in every single week, and if we keep failing on protocols, like, we're not going to do that. We've got a duty to check in with every single week. So that accountability factor is massive. So weekly check-ins with my clients to keep them accountable is so important. And then even to expand on that is daily messages. I got a lot of my clients to send me through screenshots of their calories and macros at the end of every single night of their protocol, so I can make sure that they are hitting their calories every single day. Because heck, even a week can be a long time if that's the only communication that you're getting with your coach. I say to my clients all the time, I would rather you message me every single day and send me with messages than me only hear from you once per week on your check-in day. So the more messages, the better, I say with my clients. I think it's really important that you keep your finger on the pulse with your clients. If you're a coach and you're like, how do I get my clients to have insane transformations like you do, Jazz? Well, keep them accountable, message them constantly. And if you feel like they are falling off track and they're still struggling to message you, then you message them. You don't always have to wait for them to message you, although I do try and encourage it, especially once you do have a large client base like myself. It can be really hard to message every single client every single day. Especially when you have to do client check-ins, it's physically impossible. So just really encouraging your clients to message you as much as you can, because it's going to help them, it's going to help you, and it's always really good to overlook. The next one would be time. So making sure that you're giving your clients a good experience, and retention is massive. One of my clients has been with me. Even actually my very first online client, she's still with me to this day. So she's been with me for like a decade, honestly. So that's just because I do my very best to give each client a good experience. And if you can do that, they're going to be very likely to stay on board with you as a coach. And if you do that, that means you're going to have them for the long term. And guess what? It takes a long time to build muscle. So you need clients for the long term if you really want to make those changes. Because yes, we can lose fat and we can still get a great transformation in the short term, but you know what kind of changes happen over the long term? Those are the transformations that are just insane. So if you can get your clients to a point where they enjoy their coaching and their nutrition and training over the long term, that's when you've really won, because you're giving them the best experience, that they are looking forward to checking in with you every single week. They're loving the journey, they're going through those phases, and they understand that it's not going to be an overnight process, that it takes years to change your body, and it takes a long time to build muscle, especially as women. Like, we're lucky if we gain half a kilo of muscle a year, even if we're doing all the right things. So make sure that you're enjoying the process. And if you're a coach and you're like, how can I get my clients to enjoy the process more, to get them to stay on board so that they can actually see the results that they want? Well, make sure that you have the phases written down. Make sure that they've got those short and long-term goals. Maybe it's a wedding that they want to be feeling good by. Maybe you encourage them to do a photo shoot for themselves, or like, there's so many different things that you can put in place. Maybe they're going to work towards a bodybuilding competition one day, or a they're training for a triathlon or a marathon or a half marathon. So many different things that you can do, or certain strength goals as well. Give them strength goals and remind them of their progress and how far they've come. That's another big tip that I would give, is always refer back to your before and after photos, because that is motivation right there. So if you're a coach and you've got your clients' photos, like send them through their before and afters. It's such good motivation because you can physically see the changes. And it's like, if that's the progress you've gotten them in a few months, imagine a few years of working together, because that's so exciting. And to wrap up, that would be my overall process regarding the most insane client transformations, is that everything is personalized. I have a game plan for every single client to get them to their goal. I keep them accountable. I check in with them often, and I ensure that the journey is exciting. So that means that they're going to stick to their protocols. And of course, I make sure that the protocols are correct, and that comes with time and experience. And if you have any questions around like exactly what protocols to do, but this is the process of what I do to get each client's transformation. And it works every single client, but you of course need to make sure that each protocol is individual, and that can be a whole nother separate video. So if anyone wants to get down to more of the specifics, I'd absolutely be so happy to do a video on that as well. But if you aren't already following me on Instagram at Jasmine71Fitness, I have so many tips over on there. I'm always posting every single day on my Instagram story and feed posts as well. So make sure you go follow me on Instagram, and let me know on Instagram if you found me from YouTube. That would mean so much. It would be really good to know, actually. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube, of course, for more videos like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!